Did you know that we're probably 20 years away from being able to DoorDash stuff to the moon? Actually, that's not even true. We can already DoorDash stuff to the moon, it's just through NASA. Let me explain all of that. Basically, right now, this company called Firefly was hired by NASA to send something to the moon. At some point in the 2030s, we are gonna send a moon base up there. Even though there's a lot of conspiracy theories that already believe that there is a Nazi base up there just on the dark side of the moon, but I'm not gonna get into that in this video. Firefly, the company, was one of the first private companies to successfully land something on the moon. So before Firefly, 3 other companies have tried, but only one other one has succeeded. And then before that, only like 4 countries have been able to send something to the moon. And one of them was the USSR. And the USSR doesn't even exist. I think I said too many S's in that. Firefly got there on a budget of about $100 million. The Apollo 11 mission cost us about $355 million. It's very expensive to get to the moon. So the fact that we can do that now for $100 million is only positive progress, because one day that price is going to be so small that almost anybody can do it. And by almost anybody, I mean the rich. It's gonna be a lot like Elysium, where the rich are probably gonna be living out in space, and then we're just kind of gonna be stuck here in one big pile of trash. So here's a fun fact for you. It's kind of really hard to land on the moon, which is why there's a lot of conspiracy theories that believe we never even got there. But it's really difficult, especially when there's nobody actually manning that lander, at least on site. Because what a big problem is that when we're trying to land stuff on the moon, there's gonna be like tiny little rocks or things that we can't really see from Earth because the moon is really far away. So what ended up happening a couple of times before this, usually they just explode or they tip over. They don't usually explode, I don't have a source for that, but the Challenger has exploded. That was a tragedy.
1 minute 15 seconds.
So let me take a step back. Firefly is part of a bigger conspiracy. Basically, this entire project is a part of NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services. Yes, I looked at my notes. So basically, NASA is really tired of doing all of the work. So now they're just trying to incentivize as many private companies as possible. And by as many, I just mean 14, because we don't want a bunch of knockoff companies. Like, all I'm saying is you don't want to go to space in a Timu rocket, all right? You don't want the Chinese stuff, all right? You want a good old American rocket. Just make sure that rocket isn't a Ford. Those companies have the privilege of delivering packages to the moon for NASA. So if you think about it, this is like the first real space DoorDash. As I was doing research for this video, there's been a bunch of little companies that are all kind of doing a lot of really interesting things on the moon. Like right now, we finally have GPS on the moon, which is such a crazy thing. But you have to remember, we stopped caring about the moon like decades ago. Like, we went a couple times and then after that, nobody really wanted to go back. But now that humanity really wants to go to Mars, now we're excited again. Because if we can conquer setting up a base on the moon, then Mars isn't that much more difficult, I think. I don't know, I'm not a rocket scientist, so if I get things wrong, I am sorry. I did want to say, at least 50% of moon landing attempts fail, like they either just don't make it or they just topple over and I believe 55% of Mars landings attempts fail. So because we are trying to set up a moon base, those statistics aren't really that good. We don't want another Challenger situation, okay? I'm sure you've seen the video of, you know, Big Bird was initially supposed to be on the Challenger ship. And I think, honestly, that would have been a lot better than the teacher dying, because I never trusted Big Bird. Honestly, I never trusted any of those Muppet creatures. I always thought they were a little bit scary. I'm gonna be real. I once had a dream where Miss Piggy did some naughty stuff to me as a child and I did not consent. I don't know why I'm talking about that. All right, now that I've kind of ranted about that, so why does this affect you? Because let's be real, Earth kind of, I mean, you look outside and there's like fires and snowstorms all the time and we're wasting all of our natural resources, and Trump literally yesterday or 2 days ago made an executive order to make it easier for private companies to start tearing down forests. The rich are taking over this planet and they do not care about leaving a good imprint. So you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna set up a colony on Mars because they've realized this Earth is and they're gonna just start using it for resources, and now we're gonna do the same thing to Mars. That's just my own little conspiracy theory though. There's no proof that that's what we're actually doing. What I also like to think as to why we're trying to go to Mars is because maybe, just maybe, all of the technology that we learn to make Mars more fertile will help us out on Earth, because a lot of Earth seems very infertile. I don't know. I'm just looking at this in terms of what if there's an apocalypse on the Earth, and if we are able to survive on Mars, a desolate and dead land, then living on an apocalyptic Earth would probably be a lot easier if we have the technology from Mars just kind of helping us out too. I don't know, that's just me thinking long term because I might be autistic. I don't think I am though. But yeah, why will this affect you? Brother, we're gonna start getting space travel very soon. Like, if there are multiple companies all trying to get us to create rocket ships that are reusable, that are a lot cheaper, and well, that's really it. That's what we're trying to do. Just make it cheaper. Oh, and safer too. That really matters. I mean, I'm sure some of you watching this want to one day go into space. Me, definitely. I would hopefully within our lifetime, we can just take a space Uber to go to the moon. I don't know about Mars though. That seems a lot more dangerous. I just like the moon because of, you know, the gravity is a lot lower.
Hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity, hippity hopping over hill and dale.
Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and God bless all of you. Yeah, I'm sorry my hair's messy. Like I said, I literally just woke up and I wanted to make a video on this.